You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We'll chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guests and repeat offenders.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Sean and Kellee Malone. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Glad to have you with us. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Plan for Vacation Day. Okay, I guess.
It is what it is.
Now, I don't know if he's watching us this morning, but one of my favorite people in the entire world lives for his hot chocolates. Mitchell, I don't know if you're watching today's National Hot Chocolate Day, so got a little whipped cream on there as well. So National Hot Chocolate Day. Sean, you will appreciate it. Mitchell's probably just as big a Cowboy fan as you are.
Oh, yeah.
So he's probably still suffering, still crying, still upset. Bruised. Now, for those of you that are Chargers fans, you may be happy to know that now the former offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys is now the offensive coordinator for the the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, bring Rivers back.
Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know if do they teach fumbles do they teach fumbles in Dallas? Maybe they're not going to fumble or interceptions.
No, interceptions. They don't teach interceptions. That's the problem.
They
keep making them.
Well, at least he's completing the passes. Doesn't that help? Don't you
what about the guy that Murphy or where the kicker 5 misses?
Right.
Come on, never missed.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
It was something on Narcos. Like he was paid something or someone had something over his family and they said you're gonna miss.
You know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on right now that since the NFL got so involved with betting.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the I guess the deciding play of the Chiefs game against the Bengals, right. So that was clearly a unnecessary roughness, and that was called, and rightly so. But the 2 holds against the Chiefs that wasn't called, yeah, you know, you got to wonder sometimes. I just throw that out there, but we do talk about everything, including sports, here on Ron Siegel Radio. But we better get back to the markets and take a look. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now up 59 points. The S&P 500 up 22. The NASDAQ is up 98.86. Oil is up 73 cents a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury is up just a little bit, but still right there in the trading range. So we're going to be watching all of that, but it doesn't matter. Whatever we say today with regard to where we forecast the markets going, what the markets are doing, it's all about 11 o'clock our time when the Federal Reserve announces their decision tomorrow. So not going to get any information from them today. They're going to give us their decision tomorrow. We're going to find out that they don't know what they're talking about still, that they're still looking in the rearview mirror, that they have not figured out that 39% of CPI comes from real estate. And if we could just get a few of them to listen to Ron Siegel Radio, then they would get this information up front and realize what's happening in the real estate market. Not that I have a crystal ball or anything. I just bring smart people on the radio show to talk to you and give you the insights of what's really happening. Federal Reserve does not want to understand what's really happening. They're looking and saying, well, CoreLogic said, well, if you look at CoreLogic, they do a good job of reporting what happened a long time ago.
Yep.
So I think their report that came out today is the November data, right? So I don't know about you. If I could turn the clock back, it would not be to November's data. Maybe tell me what, can we turn the clock back to January's rates from last year? It might be a little bit more exciting than talking about what happened in the last 3 quarters of last year. But that's what the Federal Reserve is going to look at. Then the media is going to tell you, well, real estate values are down. They're not going to tell you that there's been a 10% increase in cash buyers. They're not going to tell you that. So you have to listen to Ron Siegel Radio, and we'll give you that information. Do you think the cash buyers, an increase of 10% of cash buyers are going to be giving, do you think they're doing that? Now let's just take a look at, and I'm going to look right now real quick, Orange County, California. Last numbers I looked for Orange County, California was that we had about 1,059,000 was the median home price. So if it's still about the same, and I think it's going to be fairly close, 1,059,000, 1,049,000. It's been ranging right in the same area for quite a while. So the bottom line is, do you think that that's the first-time home buyer? Probably not. Do you think that it's just somebody that just got up this morning and decided to go buy a house? Do you think that's who's going to be spending over $1 million for a house? And you think they're going to be the ones that are paying cash? Now, I don't know about you, but there's not a huge segment of the population that has $1 million. Well, it's 1,067,000 right now is the median home price in Orange County, California. 1,067,000. So, you have to have some net worth there. You don't get it just by, well, in my case, you certainly can't get it by looking pretty because I don't. Right. So the bottom line is maybe you have to get some education in there. And if there are more people are starting to pay cash, what do they know that maybe you don't? Maybe what do they know that maybe you should? The bottom line is that real estate is still a great investment. Maybe they realize that the forecasts are that for this next 12 months, real estate values in Orange County, California are projected to appreciate by 4.16%. Or over the last 63 years, real estate values have appreciated by 5.37%. Maybe they know that. I don't know. But the bottom line here is very, very simple, is real estate is still a great place to go, and the values are not going to drop dramatically, but they are not appreciating like they were, and they are 39% of appreciation. The Federal Reserve is going to look at CPI tomorrow and today when they're in their meetings, and say, oh, we've still got inflation is too high. And it is, but it's not from real estate. It's from stupid policies from the Federal Reserve. Just throw that out there at you. It's stupid policies from the administration where they haven't figured out yet that you can't keep spending this much money and not have inflation. It has nothing to do with what you and I are doing. Look at electricity. You have to have it. Look at gas prices. Our gasoline is going up. Our heating costs are going up. Cost of eggs. Can you imagine that? I mean, $10 a dozen of eggs. I go to Trader Joe. It's a little cheaper there. But the bottom line is inflation is rampant, but 39% is coming from data that they're looking at that's old. So the bottom line is we need to be looking at current data. If you're thinking about buying or selling a house, you need to be looking at current data. And some of the data that's coming out is not current. There are a couple of resources that are very, very current. First off, Ron Siegel Radio, every day at this time, you can get current data. If you would like to know current data about your zip code, any zip code in the U.S., go to, Josh, what is it again? Because I don't know why I have trouble with this one. rsrlistana.com, rsrlistana.com. And that's going to give you data for Anaheim, California. I know you don't necessarily care about Anaheim, California, but once you get the report, you can put your zip code in there and it'll give you your zip code. So I've actually been following a couple of different zip codes where we're looking to invest at, and I've been seeing actually real estate values have been going up. Now, that's the mean listing price. It went from $814 in one area to $815. Now, sounds like it's a minimal amount, and it is very, very minimal. And what does that mean to you? Absolutely nothing. But what it tells me is prices are not dropping. They're not going down dramatically. Now, they may be in certain areas. Goldman Sachs is coming out and saying, well, we're going to see a 2008 real estate crash. And in the very fine print, probably in page 7, they said on there that, well, yeah, it's going to be in Austin, Texas, and San Jose, California, and San Diego, and Phoenix.
Boise.
Okay, so yeah, you could pick 4 areas or 5 areas. But that's not what the headlines say. So come here and get the real information. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to give you real information from people that are out there on the street who understand what's going on and who are, more importantly, talking to folks all over the country about understanding these things. We're going to talk about lower mortgage rates are bringing buyers back to the market. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 100% financing, it's back. Give us a call. They've got that product 100%. I like that 100% financing. And it's not just for veterans, although the veterans get that anyway. They earned it. It's not just for the USDA folks in rural areas. Maybe they didn't earn it. But the bottom line is it is available. The S&P 500 is now up 22.53. And every day at this time, OB, MMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. So what are loans doing? Well, yesterday, the 30-year conforming loan locked at 6.151. The jumbo loan, 6.026, down just a little bit. The FHA loan, 6.12, down just a little bit. USDA 6.151, up a bit. And again, the best loan on the market, that is for our veterans who actually earned it. The 30-year VA loan, 5.936. That was up just a little bit. But you can find that information if you know where to look. The reason you listen to us at Ron Siegel Radio is you want to know why. Well, first off, I'll tell you the 10-year Treasury is down 2 basis points, and the mortgage-backed securities are totally flat right now. Why? Why is all of this happening? Well, it's basically, again, like I shared with you in the last segment, follow the money. We are seeing that the cash investors are up about 10%. We went from 16% of the market to 18% of the market. We're looking at the Federal Reserve is again going to announce, they started their meeting today, announced probably a 25 basis point hike tomorrow. What's more important is what is Jerome Powell going to say afterward? That's what really moves the market, and it has been pretty rocky when he's been coming out and talking about that. Employment Cost Index is old Fed Chair Alan Greenspan's favorite measure of inflation, as it measures wage pressure and costs, something the Fed is highly focused on. In Q4, the index rose 1% on a year-over-year basis, which was 0.1% below the estimate. If you were to analyze the figure, it means that employment costs would rise 4% over the year, which is 0.4% below the estimate. The trend in inflation continues lower, which will be helpful for mortgage rates. We've been watching that. Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Again, I'm not a big fan of Case-Shiller because they're using all of the loans. They don't take into account anything that has to do with cash purchases, but it can be skewed by the mix of properties being sold. So I'm not a big fan of the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, but I will tell you, they call it the gold standard for appreciation. Showed home prices fell 0.6% in November. Don't be misled by some of these numbers because it's only down about 3% from the peak. It's not a huge amount. I like the FHFA House Price Index. Again, doesn't take into account cash purchases, but it does take into account, gets rid of all of the skewing from oversized loans. So, the jumbo loans. So I like this one a little bit better. Home price appreciation, single family homes with a conforming loan. Again, different than the Case-Shiller. FHFA reported that prices were down 0.1% in November and wait a second, it says they're up. Really? They're up 8.2% year over year. Do you think that'll be in the headlines today? I doubt it. They're not going to tell us that. I mean,
You know better than that.
the news doesn't want to give you the real information. That's what you need us for. So that is the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And again, if you're looking for 100% financing, does not have to be your first home, give me a call. We'll talk about it. So one of the things I've been sharing with you, when all these people are talking about how prices are going to drop dramatically, for the last now I will tell you, interest rates, May 10th is when they're going to start dropping dramatically. That's when interest rates will start dropping because that's when inflation is going to start showing the big drop. May 10th, circle it on your calendar. I can say that right now because we're still in January. And if it comes to pass, we will be pulling out this clip and I'll tell everybody I told you so. If it doesn't happen, we'll just continue on talking and no one will know. That's the way it works, Sean. I mean, that's
I'm a Dallas fan.
Yeah, I've been an Angel fan, so I understand.
Just keep moving.
Just keep on going. Wait till next year. It's kind of like Bears fans, right? Wait till next year. But here's the issue with houses. So what I've been saying right along is that we're not going to see a big drop in housing for one major reason. Those people that have a house, if they don't have a catalyst, they're not going to sell it. You don't say, okay, I think I want to go from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, and I want to go from a 3% mortgage rate to a 6% mortgage rate, unless I need to. Am I missing something there?
Nope.
No,
So,
absolutely not.
Right?
Nope.
There's no reason to do
Nail
that.
Yeah.
And I should, before I continue on with my bloviating here, got Kellee and Sean Malone are in with us, Reliable Realty. Glad to have you with us again.
Thank you.
Good morning.
So the bottom line here is they've got to have a catalyst. What are the catalysts that are getting people to move?
Death, divorce, debt. Oh, and diamonds.
And diamonds.
Yeah. People get married,
Okay.
right? That is one of the catalysts. Yes.
So, well, yeah, but the diamonds create debt.
Okay, well, you learn that after.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a resort. We got a 4D resort here.
Right. Yes.
4Ds here. Okay, so that's the catalyst. So do you see, are there a lot of those people are going to always be in the marketplace?
Always.
Yes.
Right? There's nothing that's going to stop. I mean, people are always going to, unfortunately, they're going to always die. And there's going to be some issues going on. George Burns couldn't figure out how to find a new way out. So I guess the rest of us are that's going to go on. The divorces, we're just at the tail end of divorce season.
Right. Well, COVID helped the divorce season. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's right. Debt, we always seem to get into debt. And, I heard something new on one of the reports this morning, fascinated me. That, there's a lot of people got into debt. Now, we always get into debt. I mean, it's human nature. But one of the things that someone was made a comment on one of the business stations was we heard so long that all this inflation was transitory that people decided, something, if I should believe the government, there's those brainwashed people who believe the government. Right? They said, okay, well, it's transitory, so I'll just pay for it on the credit card. It's going to go back down,
right,
and I'll be fine.
Yeah,
it's true.
Right? And, that's really true, but it's not transitory, and it's not going back down. So the bottom line is those people are still out selling. That's not a whole lot of the marketplace.
No, and it reflects in all the numbers overall. So the, sales are down overall, the, listings are down overall. Yeah, if people are inclined or they have a catalyst to sell, that those are the people on the market, staying on the market, look, listing timeframes in our zip code are, over 100 days.
Wow. Okay. Where are you focused at?
Temecula, 92592. Yep.
Okay. So that's the supply side of economics 101.
Right.
Right. And, we can't control death, then we could control divorce, maybe. We can control debt. People are going to get there. The diamonds, you can control that part, but diamonds actually helps on the demand side too.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because that's household formations.
Right.
Right. And we know we need 1.4 million 1.4 million properties every year to add to just to cover for new home, for household formations.
Right.
And to cover obsolescence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we're not now, and the people that were moving, the people that died, they're not going to go out and buy a new house. I think that's pretty basic, right? I know I got that one. And someone got divorced, they're going to probably buy two houses or rent two.
Right.
Well,
Right.
Rent
Buy
right
or
now.
rent,
Yes.
one or the other.
Mhm.
Debt, you're going to be renting, so you're probably not going to be out there buying a house.
Right.
So the bottom line is that you've taken out a huge segment of the population is the move up buyer.
Right.
Are they gone completely?
They're priced out.
Well, they're priced
most
out
of it.
and waiting.
They're waiting.
I'm having conversations with people who are waiting. It's like watching jump rope, waiting to jump in at the right time because the perception is that the rates are going to come back down to what they were, or their hope is. And so
I think that's a good hope.
It's a good hope. But overall, I think people are starting to come to the realization that 5 and 6s are here to stay. And they have to, the buyers have to deal with that. And they're easing their way in. They're not jumping in. And sellers are really not selling unless they have to, or unless they had a major amount of equity and they have to move out of state for relocation. I mean, it's overall things are, cut in half.
How do we get a D from relocation? You can't get a D out of relocation.
Delocation. We can do that when people move from California.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bottom line here, but what I'm getting at is the reason I think that we're not going to see that 2009 price drop is we don't have a huge amount of supply.
Right.
And, because that's got to have a catalyst.
Right.
And the demand is going to stay because people are still getting older. They're still getting married. They're still having babies.
I believe we've hit an equilibrium. We've actually hit a point where the supply and the demand are kind of equivalent right now. And, it's, moving forward, let's hope it stays that way for a good long time because it's, people are, if the interest rate goes higher, it definitely, people are in escrow, canceling escrows. I mean, that's like rates are up, cancellations happen.
And again, the equilibrium is our local market. So if you're a realtor in San Francisco or San Diego or Los Angeles,
It may be different.
You're
Yeah.
talking night and day difference. 26% housing prices drop in those local markets. Yeah, so there's no equilibrium there. But if you're in New Jersey or Maine, Vermont, New York, and there's only a 2% price drop, the sellers still have the upper hand in those markets.
I was looking I mentioned before we went on air, and then I mentioned a little bit a second ago that about a property area that I was looking at, just watching, and on one of the tools that you and I both use, they're showing the market action there as a 55. 55.
Price drop?
No, so what they're basically saying is they're calling it a strong seller's market.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, and we both use a service
Altos.
called Altos Research.
Yep.
Right. So I see that you guys post that for your area. It's great tool. But again, I'm going to share with you because I can. It is even though it's the best tool out there that I see, it's still backwards looking.
It is. No, I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're going to want great information, now if you want information on your zip code, and we constantly do, so I can put in here Temecula, which is where Kellee and Sean are from, and it tells us that it's a slight seller's market.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you concur?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It's slight.
The housing
Okay.
prices are slowly increasing.
slowly.
Look at the amount of decreases in the prices.
Price decreased 39%.
Right.
Yeah.
And as a nationally, I think the last I saw was 33.7 or something like that.
Average. Yeah.
So you got to talk to a local professional who really understands the market is the bottom line, because we can give you all these stats, but what's really happening in the market, and again, this is what's on the market right now, what's coming. Professionals understand that part of it as well. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, lower mortgage rates are bringing buyers back to the marketplace and more. You can reach me anytime, off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Lower mortgage rates bring buyers back to the market. Maybe. Let's see what the report has to say. Mortgage rates rose last year. Activity in the housing market slowed down. We know that. And as a result, homes started seeing fewer offers and stayed on the market longer. That meant some homeowners decided to press pause on selling. Now, however, rates are beginning to come down and buyers are starting to re-enter the market. In fact, the latest data from the Mortgage Bankers Association, MBA, shows mortgage applications increased last week by 7% compared to the week before. So if you've been planning to sell your house, but you're unsure if there will be anyone to buy it, this shift in the market could be your chance. Here's what experts are saying about buyers returning to the market as we approach spring. Mike Frattitoni, Senior Vice President, Chief Economist at the Mortgage Bankers Association, quote, mortgage rates are now at their lowest level since September 2022, about a percentage point below the peak mortgage rates last fall. As we enter the beginning of the spring buying season, lower mortgage rates and more homes on the market will help affordability for first-time home buyers, unquote. Lawrence Yoon, Chief Economist, National Association of Realtors, quote, the upcoming months should see a return of buyers as mortgage rates appear to have already peaked and have been coming down since mid-November, unquote. Lawrence LaSalvia, Senior Economist, Moody's Analytics, quote, we expect the labor market to remain robust, wages to continue to rise, maybe not at the pace they did during the pandemic, but that will open up some opportunity for folks to enter home ownership as interest rates stabilize a bit, unquote. Sam Cotter, Chief Economist, Freddie Mac, quote, home buyers are waiting for rates to decrease more significantly, and when they do, a strong job market and large demographic tailwind of millennial renters will provide support to the purchase market, unquote. Bottom line, if you're thinking about making a move, don't wait until the interest rates drop May 10th. Don't think about that. Don't wait until then. Give a call right now so we can make sure that you've got everything in order. Maybe you need to have some credit repair work done. Be in position to make those things happen right away. If you need that credit repair work, rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. If you're thinking about buying down the road, rsrhbg.com. Every quarter, we've got that new home buyer's guide for you, rsrhbg.com. And the other thing is, have that initial consultation with a professional realtor. I'm just throwing it out there. Again, I don't get paid to promote the realtors, right? They're out there doing their job. And I know you can go out and we give away one of the great tools available for shopping for a home, rsrhomescout.com. Great tool for shopping for a home. But I'm going to tell you right there, that's where it ends, is from the shopping standpoint. You need the realtor to tell you, is this a good deal? Is it the time to buy? Is there something that might be a little bit better? Is there something that's coming on the market? People that are out there doing this all the time. Do you guys ever get off-market properties available?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You find out that there's something coming. I mean, you have a property management company, right?
Right.
So you may have a client that says, something, I'm thinking about selling in 6 months.
Yes. All the time.
Right? So you have those available. That's why you need the professional realtor. Right there. That's the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Continue our conversation. We are chatting with Sean and Kellee Malone, Reliable Realty. They're based in the Temecula area. Do you cover just Temecula or anywhere else?
No, Southwest Riverside County is our focus, but San Diego.
Okay.
We've even sold in Long Beach and Los Angeles, Orange County.
Our license is State of California, so we
you can go wherever the
have
license.
license, we'll travel.
There you go. And you guys are traveling all over. One of the things that I enjoy with that in our conversations is you guys do travel quite a bit, for real estate purposes.
Yes.
And you're able to share different ideas of what's going on around the state and around the country with what's going on with other real estate professionals.
Yeah, we're constantly moving and traveling and meeting with other people in other markets and hearing stories from other things. So it's just how it feeds back into how we do our business.
I think we attended 5 real estate conferences last year alone.
5 last year.
5. And so we did quite a bit of traveling, but we are learning from people across the country and in our localized markets. And, look, the only thing constant in real estate is change, right?
Sure.
So, we're hearing from other people. I mean, this is my 27th year in real estate.
Must have started at 2.
Yes, that's it.
27th year,
and
okay.
Constantly reinventing myself. It's not, you never arrive. I mean, my biggest years were 2005, 2008, through 2010, 11, I'm selling 300 a year. There, it would be difficult to maintain that at any stretch. So in the market, because there's an ebb and flow, you've got to adapt and keep up with what's going on. So what we've learned from, agents lately, of late, that everybody across the country is, whether they've been, major success, they're the top producer in their areas. Everybody's experiencing a flatter market than what we've been accustomed to. So we've got to step up our game.
Now, real estate has been one of the areas, there's a few of them that you always hear about the 80-20 rule. And I've always said real estate is probably 95-5.
It's 95-5.
Right.
Yes,
so
it used to be 80-20. Now it's 95-5. Correct.
Are you seeing a lot of agents washing out right now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably, my opinion, it's probably good for the marketplace.
Well,
I don't wish ill on anybody.
It was really cute because of the Tom Ferry seminar we were just at. They had he actually asked the question to the audience.
You better explain who Tom Ferry is.
Tom Ferry,
radio audience probably doesn't
he's
know.
He's a real estate mentor.
Yeah.
Real estate mentor and
He's a
coach. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he asked the audience, how many people have been in real estate for 10 years or less? And so 3/4 of the audience raised their hand. And then he put up a slide from the movie, gosh, I can't think. And it said, "Winter is coming." And it's this.
Oh, it was the House of Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And it was we kind of got a giggle out of it because they haven't been through a tough market. And so it's rough for agents that are new.
In the last 4 years, a lot of real estate agents were able to come on and the market was just brimming, overflowing. And so they were able to quit their main jobs, make a good living. And if they were decent at, showing skills and other skills,
follow up,
they could make a good living. Well, that's dried up. And so one of the things,
didn't take a whole lot to make a good living in real estate during the pandemic.
No, you have a pulse, you sell a house.
There you go. That's it.
Because of quantitative easing, there was so much money in the market and home prices were soaring because there's so much activity, and that's gone.
So now you got to know what you're doing.
You got to know
You
what
do.
you're doing. You got to know how to negotiate. You've got to have the right contacts, and you've got to. I mean, daily. It's not a matter of doing what you feel like doing. You've got to do the hard stuff.
It's interesting that you say that, Kelly, because one of the keys that I talk about is we don't really need a real estate agent to find a property.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
What we need them for is the negotiation.
Yeah, the contract.
And the contract and knowing who to talk to when you've got a problem.
Well,
how to solve problems.
Problem-solving skills are probably 90% of a transaction. Really, it's you're
Between the
finding
buyer and seller.
you have the people marry the house, which is great, but in the meantime, you are negotiating on their behalf for the best price. But also, there's issues that come up all the time, and so resolving those issues to make everybody happy and cohesive in the transaction, including working with the other agent involved, is that's the outcome you're looking for. You want a good outcome for everybody involved, and so that's it's communication, it's negotiation, and it's not just selling a house.
One of the challenges I hear all the time, especially because we generally don't get, and nothing against newbies, but we don't get a whole lot of newbies here, right? Because I want to bring real experience and education. The newbies I think are great because they need mentors.
Yes.
Right. Just like anything, I don't understand why in real estate, you get a license and go out and claim that you know what you're doing, helping somebody buy a castle. And I don't care whether it's a $200,000 castle or a $2 million castle.
Right.
It's still a castle, but you don't have to have there's no internship or required residency or something like that.
The barrier to entry to get a real estate license or to practice real estate is zero, pretty much. I mean, you pass a test. And because
you never use again.
I've trained you never use it information. I tell people
and the
flush
test
it.
has nothing to do with the reality of being a real estate agent.
But the people that I've trained over the years, they understand the significance of learning the contract backwards and forwards, and having you have a license and it's a responsibility, and you can be sued. So that's
an interesting thought, that you have a license to be responsible.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have ownership. They're going to come back on you. And so you really need to up your game. And one of I'm on your coattails, Tom Ferry thing that we were at the road.
I've heard that you're on our coattails.
So one of the ladies that was up there, she's 84 years old, one of the speakers, and her name was Maxine, I might get her last name wrong, Gertie, from Berkshire Hathaway in La Jolla. And she was talking about reinventing herself. She has this huge brokerage. They've done so much. And here she's been in the business for 40 years. And she's got to go back, as she stated, to her Rolodex. And what was really interesting,
that tells you that she's really been in the business for 40 years if she's talking about a Rolodex.
Right.
It's scary enough that we knew what she was talking about.
Exactly. But a lot of people in the room didn't.
Oh yeah,
we were running around with our heads cut off
Rolodex
for 3 years. There's just so much business. There's so much to be done, and there's so many people coming into the market that's saying, "Hey, I'm young. I'm a newbie. Can you mentor me?" And like with anything, if you're a knowledgeable person in baseball and you see a kid throwing a tomato at 109 miles an hour, hey, maybe we should probably get him over here and start throwing a baseball. So you can see in new people that are coming on the market their own personal skills, soft skills, or anything, but ownership. If they have some sense of ownership, right off the bat, they're 50% over all other agents.
Well, here's one of the things that I just took away from what you're saying, though, also, is so many people could go out and do real estate in the last few years without a problem.
Right.
You guys probably saw hundreds of contracts that were done, and you got to wonder, was it a kindergarten that wrote this contract?
Oh, they didn't fill it out.
Well, we do offer a real estate academy.
Yep.
And that real estate academy we hold 4 times a year, and it's 6-week program. It is intense, 9 to 1 o'clock every Saturday. And we go through the contract backwards and forwards, and all of the disclosures, marketing, social media, everything. But we really get intense with the details in the contract. The devil's in the detail. And I cannot tell you how many contracts come across my desk that are not filled out properly. They have the agent on the other side of the transaction has nobody helping them, nobody coaching them. And it's terrible. It's
called malpractice.
It's bad for the consumer. It's really bad for the consumer. You don't have
an
experienced agent.
When we come back, I want to talk more about this concept as well, because one of the things I've heard and a takeaway that I've got, and maybe you should be asking the same question if you're thinking about buying or selling in real estate, is Kelly just said you've been doing this 27 years. And last year you went to 5 conferences to learn more.
Right. Always.
So you're teaching people, but also realize that in order to stay sharp in your craft, you've got to go out there and continue learning too.
I'm
And
a
tomorrow
student of
we're-
real estate.
Tomorrow we're heading to Vegas
And
for another.
oh, I thought you were going to the crap table.
That's Sean.
Sports book. Right. So the bottom line here is if you think that you can do this, just in your spare time, or you want to hire your neighbor's best friend's dog walker to take care of selling your house, you may not come out with the outcome you're looking for. We're going to talk more with Kellee and Sean Malone when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, and it is wrong. They all are. I don't care what you say. I've heard the statistics that 79% of all credit reports are wrong. I helped the first family that I ever helped get a loan was in 1983. I know I am old. But the bottom line here is I've looked at a lot of credit reports, hundreds, maybe thousands of credit reports. I've never seen one that's completely accurate. They're all wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer. You go out there, you fill out a little form at creditsanitizer.com. You're going to get a link back for a credit report that you need, a specialized credit report that we use. Costs you $1. Okay, I think you can afford that, I hope. If you can't, you're probably not going to be buying a house anyway. So the bottom line there is get that and get a credit audit. The credit audit costs $197, and we're waiving it right now. So not waiving like waiving, but free. Bottom line right there. So go take care of it. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com.
And can I add something to that?
Yes, sir.
So you guys are listening. If you're thinking about buying a home, call Ron. This is critical right now. We are dealing with a lot of mortgages and a lot of offers from people that come in and they have to repair their credit. We don't think about what's on our credit. We very rarely even run our credit. So listen to what he's saying. Go get your credit run. Just check. Make sure everything's copacetic.
Thank you. So I want to get into the weeds here a little bit. Something that very few people know. I mean, if you're in the industry, you should know this. So Kellee, you're the broker of record at your company?
I'm the owner broker, yes.
Owner broker.
Uh-huh.
So when a listing comes in, regardless of who lists a property in your office,
Right.
whose listing is it?
Mine.
It's yours.
Yes.
Right? Because you're the broker in the office.
Yep.
At the end of the day, if there's something wrong with it, who's responsible?
Me.
You.
Yep.
So you've got a vested interest in making sure that everybody that's in your office knows what the heck they're doing.
Is very well trained. Absolutely, yes.
So if somebody's out there and you don't have that kind of training, right? If they're not getting that training, not only are they're liable, they're looking for trouble, but because the consumer, not only the consumer is gonna be harmed, but it can be somebody's entire livelihood.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So look, there's a lot of great agents out there. They're flashy. They've got great social media presence. They've got all that down. But if you don't understand the contract and how to protect your client, you are doing them a disservice. And so because, I have brand new agents all the time, and I have mentors and coaches that work with them as well, because I'm only one, me.
Sure.
But we spend the time making sure we review their contracts before they send them out, or we go with them to the buyer-seller consultation to make sure they're giving the right information. I was almost sued once by a client because my agent, this was in 2002, my agent gave incorrect information regarding 1031 exchange.
Wow.
Yeah. And that would have been that we resolved it, thankfully, but that would have been a huge hit.
And the irony is most good agents that I come across, most lenders that I come across, when it comes to 1031 exchange, number one, you want a good 1031 exchange agent, right? The person that handles that, not the realtor, but I mean the firm.
Intermediary. There's an intermediary.
Right. And you're probably going to say, you should be talking to CPA about getting tax advice.
Yes. CPA first, and decide if you're going to, sell your property and exchange it. And then that money can never touch your hands. So, you can exchange into several properties. But there are rules and regulations of how that works.
And the bottom line there is that what I'm hearing and what I'm suggesting is if you've got a real estate agent that thinks they know everything, they probably know a lot less than you do. Right there. Right. I mean, because you've probably done more than your share of 1031s.
Yes. And for ourselves as well.
Ourselves. Right.
Yeah.
And I've been investing in real estate for a long time. I didn't realize that, I'd probably never do a 1031 again in my life because I know a better way. Not that I understand it, but I know who does understand it, right? Because I know that I can go and look at an older tax law that's not on the crosshairs of the government and use those things. But I put people in touch with the people that are experts in that, because you're an expert in real estate. You probably don't go and spend the 30 or 40 or 50 hours every year in tax law.
No.
And ironically enough, it's kind of funny. This just came to me as we're talking. Right, if we want to go and enter into a contract with somebody, are you licensed to go and enter into a contract to, I don't know, to breed dogs?
Is there a contract required to?
I don't know.
Governing bodies for the breeds.
But that's not a trick question. No, right?
No.
And neither. But you'd go to an attorney.
Yes.
Right, who has to go through so many years of school. Yet in a 1 hour licensing course, people are then licensed to be able to go and give guidance on a contract for $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 $1 million houses.
Yes.
Right. It's just crazy. So when you talk about having your real estate academy, to me, that's just, it almost should be mandatory for every agent to go through something.
It really should, because, I have trained most of my agents from their beginning.
So they didn't have any bad habits when they came to you.
So that's my favorite. That's my favorite. So, I've trained them, kind of groomed them. They are part of our family, really. But they take the contract very seriously, and they have pride in that knowledge of the contract.
And it changes every year.
Yeah. And the contract changes all the time.
And Sean, you run a escrow company as well.
Celebration Escrow.
And it probably makes the escrow agent's job a lot easier when you've got a trained real estate agent.
If those
submitting
listings
a
are
contract.
coming in, yes. From outside, sometimes there's barriers or problems on the contract. But yes, yeah.
Right, because the escrow company, most people don't understand. We should do a whole show on escrow even one time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right, because all the escrow company really is not an NFL referee, but they're a referee.
Yeah, we're just a third party.
Third party that's basically looking at the contract and saying, this is what it says.
Yep.
Keeps things legal-like, handles the money.
And
is neutral. It's Switzerland. Yeah.
And you've got a good deal that you're offering too.
We do.
Tell us about it.
Seller side. We'll give you free escrow
on the seller side.
On the seller side.
Free escrow on the seller side.
Celebration.com. Celebrationescrow.com.
Okay, that's for anybody that wants a free escrow on the seller side.
Absolutely.
So
mention it.
Okay.
Send an email.
There's Ron Siegel Radio.
Awesome.
Siegel Radio.
Tell me got it from here. So that's a great deal.
Any amount too. So normally that would be $2,000 to $4,000 savings. But on something big, that could be $6,000 to $8,000 to $10,000 savings.
In Orange County, it's like 8 to 10.
Right.
So that's a huge money back to the seller.
So and that could be used. You might use that money to use points to buy down the interest rate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To make it to help with the to get more people into buying your property, get more money for your property.
Get more money. You're netting more money, and you can obviously use that however you need to. But in today's market, everybody wants a net the maximum. And look, this is a deal that we don't take lightly. People that use us, we are customer service oriented to the point where Monica is our escrow manager, and she gives the white glove treatment. So, we want people to give us a shot, and, this is our way of an entry, level experience.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about escrow companies because I've only used a couple, right? I do, as a lender, we just kind of follow along, right? Unless it's refis or things like that. But for the most part, we just follow who the agents all want. Is there a geographic limitation for an escrow company?
We're an independent, so we're all of California.
All of California.
Entire California.
Okay, so if we're looking for that
Eureka to San Diego.
Eureka to San Diego. Why Eureka? Why Eureka is even further north?
Well, because we just drove all the way from Seattle. We should tell that story. That's awesome. Okay, anyway, we just drove in 23 hours from Seattle to San Diego. So we went through that entire area.
So you got to see it all.
Like, Eureka!
You got to see it all.
Yeah.
Great information. If you want to meet Sean and Kellee Malone, give me a call at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. More than happy to put you in touch with them. Great agents right here in Southern California. The market's changing. We've been talking about that. You need to have an agents that understand the market, that are out there getting educated on it, and they're the best. So give us a call. We'll put you in touch with them. Don't forget tomorrow, big program tomorrow. It's something near and dear to me because, well, I've been watching this. I started doing the radio show almost 13 years ago for me to learn. And tomorrow, Alton Moore is coming in, and we're going to really get educated. A loved one has died. What next, financially speaking? So Alton is that CPA. He is an attorney. And we're going to go through what do you need to know from a financial standpoint when a loved one has died. Trust and real estate and businesses and cars. All of that's tomorrow with Alton Moore. If you have questions, put it on our social channels today, and we'll see if we can get any more questions in there. I've only got about 50 questions for him right now. And the broadcast is, 56 minutes. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, again, 800. Set that first, well, I'm going to tell you the whole thing. Set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.